Suffering, poverty, and discrimination, common themes throughout the plight of human history. And I think that as Christians specifically, and as humanity as a whole, it is important that we are able to acknowledge and therefore help care for and love the people that are in pain, the people that are in suffering. I have dedicated a lot of research assignments and artistic analysis assignments to the work of Dorothea Lange. She is a fascinating person and photographer. Dorothea Lange's photograph, Migrant Mother, exemplifies poetic, public, and purposive characteristics of rhetoric to create a virtual experience through body language, subject composition, and the controversial topic of poverty among the Dust Bowl migrants of the 1930s. I will now prove to you how Dorothea Lange's photograph expresses poetic, public, and purposive characteristics in order to create a virtual experience. To begin, the photograph is poetic because it evokes an emotional response through image composition. It is important to note here on my screen, this is the photo, that the children are hiding behind their mother. The mother's name is Florence Thompson, but their faces are turned away from the camera. And the reason for this is because the mother is supposed to be the main focus. Most other photographers would have milked is a quote from Accept the Video, but they would have used the children's faces to evoke innocence. However, they used the mother because they wanted you to note the disparity on her face and the hopelessness that she felt. And the placement of her hand is actually intentional because it is supposed to signal, one, that she is the main focus, but also that she is experiencing anxiety with the touch to her mouth, which points to her frown. Moving forward, the photograph is public because it addresses a public issue during this time period. At this time, there was a fracture throughout the agricultural trade, which left a lot of people without work because of the natural disasters, governmental neglect due to the Great Depression. So a lot of farmers were out of work. So a lot of people from Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas were migrating to California to work. But California did not like this. The migrants were greeted with hatred and discrimination because 300,000 plus migrants were straining their resources and by having to send their kids to school. So things were very spread thin, which led to a lot of tension. This makes it very public because this is something that is tangible at this time. It made sense. This is something that was taught of and thought of frequently. Furthermore, this photograph is purposive because it is intended to gather support from the audience. The purpose was to evoke sympathy from Native Californians so that they would support their government in relinquishing aid into farmers of America. Because everyone wasn't hungry for work, the government was trying to do their best to step in, but with tax money, it was very hard because a lot of people were not okay with that. These farmers specifically Florence Thompson, she was a pea picker, which was the farm that she was on. And because of their unpopularity, the police were sent frequently to try and clear them out, making it unsafe for them to be in places where they could be seen. This idea of fear of being cleared out, of needing to take care of their family, of innocently trying to make a living and to take care of her family is expressed through their withering clothing. If you notice that the children, they have holes in their clothes, their hair is messy, their skin is unclean, and this creates a virtual experience because it shows a protective mother, which is the hormone of any mother, and every family wishes to take care of their own. In conclusion, I'm so sorry, I missed my notes. In conclusion, this photo is a rhetorical photograph that exemplifies poetic, public, and purposive characteristics to create a virtual experience through subject composition, facial expression, authentic imagery, and controversial topics. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope that you learned a lot here about Dorothea Lange and her wonderful work.